Ever wondered what a GCSE maths examiner is actually thinking? Well, we're about to find out. We're going to break down an official exam question piece by piece to see exactly how you can get every single mark.
Okay, let's dive right in. So this is the real deal, a question straight from a higher tier paper. And it looks pretty simple on the surface, but the devil's always in the details, right? That's where marks are so often won or lost. And it's not always about doing some super complex calculation. The real difference between a good answer and a perfect one, it's all about getting inside the examiner's head. What's on their checklist? That's the secret we're going to unlock today.
All right, let's get to it. The triangular prism problem. We're looking at question 3.
Okay, so here it is, our solid triangular prism. We've got 3 key measurements, 4 centimeters, 6 centimeters, and 7 centimeters. Now right away, the first thing an examiner wants you to spot is this 4 centimeter measurement. See how it's the slanted side? It is not the vertical height. That is a classic trap.
So, what are we actually being asked to do? Well, it's a 2-part challenge. First, we have to explain a student's mistake. Then we have to correctly draw the plan of the prism. Got to do both to get those full marks.
Okay, let's start with Part A, analyzing Rana's mistake. This is where we really put on our examiner's hat.
So the question tells us Rana is trying to draw the side elevation. Explain why Rana's side elevation is not correct. The key word there is explain. They don't want you to fix it. They want you to say why it's wrong. It's not just about the numbers, it's about being able to communicate the concept clearly.
So Raina drew a rectangle, and she used 4 centimeters for the height. What's the problem with that? Well, she's fallen right into that trap we just talked about. She's used the slanted length, that 4 centimeters, instead of the actual straight up and down perpendicular height.
All right, so how do we know exactly what to write to get that mark? Well, here's the cool part. We can look at the official mark scheme. This thing tells us the exact answers the examiner will accept. And check this out. The mark scheme actually gives a whole list of acceptable answers. You could say something simple like the height of the rectangle should be less than 4 centimeters, or the 4 centimeter sides are wrong. You could even get technical and say the height should be 2.6 or the square root of 7, or, and this is probably the clearest, you could just say she's drawn the slanted height / not used the perpendicular height. All of these get you the mark. It's about showing you understand the error. Okay, part 1 is done. Let's move on to the second part, drawing the perfect plan. This is where we can pick up the next 2 marks. So first things first, what exactly is a plan? It's just a technical term for the view from directly above. Think of it like a bird's eye view. What would you see if you were looking straight down on top of the object?
So if we're looking down on our prism, what's the shape we see? Well, it's not the triangle on the end, right? It's just a flat rectangle. And what are its dimensions? It's going to be the length of the whole prism, which is 7 centimeters, and the width of the base, which is 6 centimeters.
Now for drawing questions, marks are often split. Let's look at how they're awarded here, specifically the M1 and A1 marks. So you get your first mark, that's the M1, or method mark, just for getting the process right. That means you've drawn a rectangle that's 6 centimeters by 7 centimeters. Even if it's a bit messy, you get the mark because you've shown you know what you're supposed to be doing. The second mark, the A1, is the accuracy mark. This one's for a completely correct and, cleanly drawn plan. A perfect 6 by 7 rectangle right on the grid, that's what gets you full marks. So, after all that, what have we really learned? Let's talk about the examiner's mindset and the key takeaways you can use in your exam. Okay, so what are the rules of the game here? First, always distinguish between slanted heights and perpendicular heights. Second, you've got to know your terminology, what a plan is, what an elevation is. Third, understand how the marks are given out. The difference between a method mark and an accuracy mark. And finally, read the question really carefully to see what it's truly asking for. It's these little things that make all the difference. You see, thinking like this isn't just about this one question. It's about every question. It's about learning to spot those hidden traps before you fall into them. So, the next time you're looking at a practice paper, ask yourself, what other simple questions might have a hidden trap just waiting for me?